All right, Murtaza, welcome to your video lessons. In this lesson, we're going to talk about some of the strengths that you have as a hitter, and we're going to do that by comparing you to Victor Martinez. As you know, Victor Martinez plays for the Tigers. He's their DH. In this video, he happens to be in an Indians uniform because that's who he used to play for. But I picked Victor Martinez for a couple of specific reasons. Number one, you can see that your guys' stances are pretty similar. Hands are high, all right? Slightly open stance. That front arm is a little bit in front of the eyes there, okay? But the other reason I picked it is because both of you guys have a very similar pre-swing movement. And what I mean by that is you're going to see that Victor Martinez will actually, before he strides, tap his foot backwards. Let's go ahead and watch that real quick. Taps the foot, and then after he taps the foot, then what he's going to do is stride forward like that, and now he's in a good hitting position, and he can swing. Well, you're very similar because just like Victor Martinez, you do the same thing. Before you stride, you'll tap your foot backwards, as you can see right there. And then once you tap your foot backwards, you take your stride to get yourself into a good hitting position right there. And then you take your swing. So it's a really good comparison for you because Victor Martinez is exactly the type of hitter that you're trying to be. So with that in mind, what I wanted to do right now is play both your swings side by side at the same time and give you a chance just to get a feel for what Victor Martinez is doing compared to what you're doing. All right, now that you've had a chance to watch that a couple of times, now what I want to do is I want to talk about your strengths. Okay, and we're going to begin with your stance because you do a really nice job with your stance in a couple of different ways. And I want to begin by talking about Victor Martinez and his stance. One of the things you're going to see is that his eyes are slightly in front of his belly button. That's important because if he was to turn his head and look at us, his head would be right in the middle of his body. And that means that he's balanced. And as hitters, especially at our stance position, we want to be balanced. And you'll see here, there's your eyes. There's the belly button. Eyes are slightly in front of the belly button, so you're nice and balanced here with your head at your stance. The other thing that I like, you'll see that Victor Martinez's feet are wider than his shoulders. You see his shoulder width and his foot width, and his knees are inside of his feet. So he's got a good foundation here, right? Well, you can see the same thing here with you. The left-hand side, your feet are wider than your shoulders, and your knees are inside of your feet. So that's great balance there as well. Okay, so we do a lot of good things at the stance. The next thing I want to talk about that's a strength of yours is something that I call a negative move. All right? And I'm going to draw a blue dot around Victor Martinez's belly button. The negative move, the purpose of the negative move is to get yourself ready to stride. So what you're going to see Victor Martinez do here is tap his toe backwards. And when he taps his toe backwards, look at how his belly button goes back. And what this is doing is this is storing up energy. And when he does this, notice how his eyes stay slightly in front of his belly button, so he's balanced. And if we watch you on the left-hand side, there's your toe tap backwards. You can see here as I draw the red dot around your belly button, the belly button's gone backwards, so you're storing up energy, and your eyes are slightly in front of your belly button, so you're balanced. And that's a really important thing right there. The next strength I want to talk about is the positive move. And the positive move is when the hitter actually takes his stride towards the pitch. And I call it a positive move because the belly button and the front foot are going to work towards the pitcher. And then you land right there, and now you're in a good hitting position. You can see the belly button's gone forward, and while he does this, the eyes are slightly in front of the belly button. So he's in a very good hitting launch position, so now he can swing and drive the baseball. And if we look at you on the left-hand side, you do the same thing. You get a nice positive move by taking a stride. And as you take your stride, your belly button comes forward, and you're in a pretty good position to hit right there. Eyes are slightly in front of the belly button, so that's fantastic. And now you're ready to swing and drive the baseball. So that's great. All right, so we've talked about your strengths, and in the next video, we're going to go ahead and talk about some ways that you can build on those strengths.